From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. We appreciate you joining us and downloading our new Fox 59 Smart TV app on your Apple, Roku, or Fire TV. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of the conversations that we have every night at 8 o'clock right here on Fox 59 Tonight. On this edition of the show, we'll be talking about the big weekend that is ahead of us here in Indianapolis with the Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration and the WNBA All-Star Weekend happening all at the same time. That alone, that's great. Big weekend for us here in Indy, but it also is happening on the backdrop of what has happened over the past couple of weekends, and that is violence by youth who have been involved in multiple mass shootings, in fights, in lawlessness, as the chief of police has called it. Now, if you've been with us over the past couple of days, you've seen a couple of people we've had in the studio where we talked about what do we do with this issue. We are talking about kids. Why can't we learn how to manage children who are out past curfew? The city has had a curfew and has not been enforcing it. So we talked to you about a press conference that the city had where they said, we're going to start enforcing curfew. Well, we reminded them, we've heard that before. And what are you going to do beyond put in curfew? One of the ideas that I provided on this show and at the press conference to the mayor and the chief of police was to get these kids who are out past curfew and take them somewhere where you can meet their parents and find out why this child, again, not this young adult, not this 20-year-old, not this 21-year-old, not this 23-year-old, why this child who still goes to a high school is out on the streets of Indianapolis at 1:30 in the morning, and find out what that problem is. Well, the city's actually doing exactly that now. They'll be out there this weekend, and we've heard from city leaders and community groups who said, hey, the police can't do this on their own. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. We've also all said, get some of these community groups to come downtown and help the police get these kids to the areas that they need to be and out of the areas they shouldn't be. They're actually doing that this weekend as well. Another thing that they'll be doing is warning these kids, but as midnight is approaching, they'll be on the bullhorn on the police PA systems from their car saying, hey, it's time to wrap this up. Get ready to head home. That also was an idea that we talked about here on Fox 59 Tonight. One of the people we had that conversation with is Greg Merriweather. He's back with us today and joins us as we get ready for this big weekend. Greg, I got to say, we've seen some progress since the last time we were here. We were all talking about this with Wild Style, who was here. He could make it back today. Yeah. But maybe somebody's watching the show.
Yeah, I think they are. I think there's evidence that they're watching the show, which is a good thing.
And it's a good thing. Yeah. It's a good thing. That's what we're here to do, is to spread the good word.
Absolutely. I think, when we start, it's good because that's what this is about. It's an information source, and great ideas can come from it. And I'm glad they're tuning in and taking heed to the things that have been said and then implementing them so that we can, work towards having a safer Indianapolis.
So I'm going to play a story, and then we'll talk about play a story from Russ McQuaid, some of the things that I just went over of what we can expect to see this weekend. We've heard from everybody from the prosecutor to the mayor to the police chief to the governor and the Fraternal Order of Police. Now, some of this we have to call out as just talking.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're telling the honest to God truth, you've heard from the governor, and they're saying that they're going to be sending out resources for this weekend, resources that were already going to be there because of how big the weekend already was. It had nothing to do with crime.
Right.
WNBA weekend and Indiana Black Expo, state police were already going to be on the street helping in full effect. So there's that. But then that's also a Republican just doing a better job at politics than Democrats are.
Yep.
By telling you, hey, I'm stepping up something that I was already doing, and make it look like I'm really bringing in resources. But that's the honest to God truth. So he's not lying.
No, he's not lying.
He's just better at playing the game.
Yes, timing.
let's hear from Russ. We're going to play this story, and I'm going to hope that it works, because I think I've tried to do this before, and I think I could hear it, but maybe you guys at home couldn't hear it. So we're going to try and see if this actually works with this report from Russ McQuaid telling us what the city has planned for this big weekend.
This is beneath the Arts Garden, where a 15-year-old was shot to death after the 4th of July celebration. To stop such further mayhem involving underage youth in downtown Indianapolis, IMPD is going to step up its enforcement of the curfew ordinance. When 7 people were shot and 2 juveniles killed at Maryland and Illinois streets after the fireworks, it frightened people like Javier Williams, who works late and walks home through downtown on weekends.
They shouldn't even touch a gun. Why are they touching guns?
The last time IMPD conducted a serious curfew crackdown downtown, it was 2008. And the underage were cuffed and put on the curb till their parents showed up to take them home. This weekend, IMPD is prepared to do it again.
Our officers will be looking to identify behaviors within kids where we need to intervene. If we come into contact with one of our children out in the community after curfew, then we will escort them to our unification location.
Children will be searched and secured and transported to an undisclosed location to wait for their parents and have conversations with community advocates who want to help them understand the risk their unsupervised kids face downtown late at night.
I can tell you this, there will be food at this reunification center. You'd be surprised what kind of conversation you can have with a young person when you give them some food. You'd be surprised, again, how much conversation and traction you can make with a kid with a sweet tea, double cheeseburger, and medium fries.
There are sites downtown where people gather way after dark, including unsecured parking lots and businesses like the Taco Bell, open until 4 a.m. and serving underage people. Chief Bailey says he's going to have a conversation with downtown business and property owners about what they can do to make the center of the city safer. In downtown, Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
All right, so that report from Russ, again, showed some of the things that if you go back and watch the previous episodes we've talked about. Tired of hearing city leaders say, we're looking for solutions, we're searching for solutions, and some of the solutions have been right there, and now they are using some of those solutions. But Greg, your take on what the city has planned.
I like that they have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that. I think that if there's anything that may disturb me,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like we're painting the roses. It's almost like, we're having this big weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and the if it were just Expo, would it be this much? I don't know, but
Well, I mean, you got a lot going on.
You got a national spotlight on you right now, so it's like you gotta step up to the plate and do what you got to do. But I'm at least happy that they have a plan. I'm really happy that they have.
This again, we've heard this is the first time that they've gone this far, as Russ pointed out, since even 2008. But picking the kids up off the street, taking to a reunification center, which we don't know where that place is going to be. But that is the opportunity for the city and police and whoever they've got helping them downtown to find out who these parents are and find out what the reason. There's going to be some legit reasons for some people say, hey, I was at work. I had no idea he was down here.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, I was asleep. When I went to bed, he was asleep. He went out the back window.
Yeah.
Or there'll be some conversations. Hey, Mom, did you know that your child is not allowed to be down here at this time?
Yeah.
No, I did not know. So you'll get a wide variety of those.
What does that look like, though? When you really think about it, what does that look like especially for the legitimate ones? The parents that are like, "Hey, I don't know nothing about it." What does that look like? Because I'm hearing that at some point they may get child services involved in this.
From what I have understood is, none of the. Let's start with this. The mayor and the police chief have already said, look, we're not trying to lock up people. We just want you to get your kids out of here.
Right.
And even what I had said before was, in this time, this is your chance to find out where the parents are,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you for coming to get your kid today.
Yeah.
Well, now we have your information. So if next weekend I see him down here again, now we're
Kind of get a little iffy, huh?
yeah, because okay, I got it. He got you this time.
Yeah.
He slipped out on you this time.
But
Now, if I see him next weekend,
yeah.
now wait a minute, I put you in the computer. Didn't we meet last weekend? And well, Mom said she knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So,
Are you wayward, or is there neglect?
correct.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to get tricky. Is it a wayward child, or is it neglect? But I mean, again, I think that once, I know it's an all hands on deck. I'm concerned with that part of it as well. Just, I know a lot of groups and organizations are going to be downtown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of grassroots organizations, which concerns me.
Why?
Because, man, I don't know if it's hard to say you're trained to deal with someone who has a heavy weapon. And this is my context. It's like if I go and I see that there's a 19-year-old young man who guns down a 24-year-old and a 12-year-old simply for talking to a girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my area. That's not my area, because I don't necessarily know how to deal with that mentality. So if I'm looking and I got a lot of people who are down there, and if somebody's like, "Let me pray for you," I'm like, is that gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
Or hey, it's time for y'all to. I mean, I talked to a community leader, and he said that he was downtown, and he was like, "Hey, y'all, it's time to round them up." And they was like, "Nah, OG, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all going to sit this out. We got this."
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, I just don't want it to be a situation where people are putting their lives in danger. And then we look and this turns into something tragic simply because we've got people there that, it's not like they're trained in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like when a person has a gun, it's like you're at that point a negotiator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
okay,
are we training that?
I hear you on that part, but let's also acknowledge that you have been one of the people saying, get some of these people who are getting city money to come downtown.
I agree. You got to get. I mean, if they say they know how,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
but the challenge is this: a lot of people say they know how,
mm-hmm.
but we still see the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, could the problem be enhanced? Because really, they don't know how, and then they get now you're in the face of it, and it's like you're gonna have to talk the talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what that trigger may be. I mean, trigger mentality to create
right.
another trigger.
Right. But we also don't know, assuming we don't know what the marching orders, if there are any, from the city these groups to say, hey, if you see some kids, get them.
Yeah.
We're not going to ask you. What I'm going to assume,
we will hope, yeah,
is the city has not said, hey, you see somebody with an AK, go over there and handle that.
Yeah.
That's more of a, hey, go get the people who also have guns. We'll take care of them. But you take care of the rowdy teenagers over here. If they ain't doing nothing but being rowdy, send them home. You need backup, call for police.
Yeah. I hope that's the case. I mean, I don't want them approaching people with a backpack on backwards, and then it's just it's like, especially with old, I'm an old school guy. So all of a sudden it's like you say something and somebody get to cussing somebody out and calling them all kind of names and stuff, which is possible. It's just like it's like it could morph into something totally different. And I'm hoping for the best, but I'm yet concerned as well.
What do you think? I'll be interested. Well, I've seen people ask you this on social media. Are you going to be down there, Greg Merriweather?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
One, I'll be at work, but two, that's not my area. That's definitely not my area. My area is going to find out why and helping with the lawmakers and the rules and I've talked to the current chief and two of the past. I just received a text from Troy Riggs, and I talked to Chief Roach. And, and when I talk to these individuals, I talk from their perspective. I'm like, what do you see? What do you think? What should be done? How would you handle it? And a lot of times, man, we look at this thing and we get a lot of people who I think they have great hearts, but I'm like, okay, this is a skill at this point, but I have to figure out, why a kid at 14 has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then say, okay, what is it that's going on for this to happen, and what do we do to work for that not to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody, I think it's an all hands on deck thing. I just want to make sure that we're not, we can't embellish what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Not in these situations. We have to be like the right people are in the right place doing the right thing. You know that I'm a logistics guy.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's all said and done, operations is what I do. So the right people in the right place doing the right things. Anything off is going to mess the whole thing up. And so for me, I'm like, getting your lane. My lane is going to make those calls, sitting in those rooms, strategizing, and figure out how we get to the root cause of the issue and fix the root cause.
What do you think of this response that has been from the Fraternal Order of Police, Rick Snyder? What I see is, I think I feel like he took it to another level.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, you had the mayor and police chief saying, okay, here's the situation. Then you had people like us saying, here's what you should do.
Yeah.
And they responded.
Sure.
But it was like, hey, this is on you to do. Whereas what I feel Rick Snyder has done has said, I'm just going to jump over to the next loop. I'm going to call to the other side of Market Street.
Yeah.
And get the governor to come out and say,
yeah,
such and such. And then that escalated us into all these threats, and the prosecutor's not doing this. And the prosecutor says, hey, I've arrested all these people and locked them up just this week. What do you want?
I would really like for Rick Snyder to kind of alter his mentality, because, again, we said this on this show, police officers are citizens. They're people too. And I think that it is not just a one-sided thing on protection. It's universal.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to get to a place where he stops looking. It's almost like you weaponized it or created or attempting to create a mentality that's like, we got to keep the officers safe. Agreed 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But the true matter is we got to keep everybody safe. And so for me, I'm like, why not come together and stop having the us against them mentality and say, okay, how can we make this, how can we bridge the gap and have a safer community where everybody is functional or attempts to be functional, cordial, or whatever, and then everybody goes home at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the ultimate goal. Challenging as it may be, it's the ultimate goal. But I just don't like the rhetoric that, it's one-sided. And I hear a lot of one-sided talk when I hear Rick Snyder.
Do you think that what he is saying, what he's asking, does it solve anything, or does it seems like it only fans the flame?
It fans the flame. It definitely fans the flame. And I think that I don't know the end goal for him. I don't know if he's trying to run.
I've always thought he was running for something.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, is he running for something? And of course I'm sure he would run on Law and Order, but I'm just like, yeah, why fan the flame, man? It's like it's tough. It's tough out here. It's tough out here when from IMPD's perspective, they're stretched thin.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lot of officers. And then you've got a lot of stuff that's going on in the community where people are dealing with a lot of stuff. And again, these kids, we don't know what's going on with them. You have to find out, why does a 14-year-old have an assault rifle?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that life. I don't think many people know that life, not at our ages. It's like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, for me, again, my lane is different. But I'm just like, we got to get to the root, and we got to start having these conversations that are not, what's the word? They're not resource-based conversations. I think it's amazing. Like I said, I read an article, and you had one of the funds that was 3 years, $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
You just saw that the mayor just gave out $9 million to 51 organizations. So that roughly ends about, if they did it evenly, it'd be $167,000 or so a piece.
Is that for the year?
Yeah. So when you look at that, it's like, okay. But here's the other thing. like I said, where are the other level? What's the other level of crime prevention? What are we going to do from the music perspective? What are we going to do from the television perspective? What are we going to do from what are we going to do with Radio 1? And we're going to say, hey, man, we can do something too, because this is a mind fix. This is not, because I thought about this. When we think resources, it's like we got a Latin community. We got all kind of communities. When we realize that you've not really, I remember looking at some statistics years ago, and it was one of those years where we were really, one of our really bad years. I think you had one person of Latin descent that was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 200 and some odd, you had one. And up until, I don't even know, maybe even recently, if we do the check, I didn't think we had any for a while this year. So when I see that, I'm like, all right, there's something else going on. And it's a mind thing. It's like when we think about everything that goes into our minds, and we're trying, these 12-year-olds are trying to digest all this poison. It's like something's feeding this. And I don't think we're doing the job of finding that and saying, let's rid ourselves of that in order for that not to happen.
We're going to talk about some of that money that has been assigned out here in just a second. Let's take a commercial break, and then we'll talk about how where the city is putting money to prevent violence.
Sure.
Coming up.